In this powerful and deeply personal talk, Catherine Hormats takes us on a journey from workaholic CEO to self-liberated executive coach and psychoanalyst. She unveils the hidden cost of chasing societal success and offers a path to rediscovering your authentic self. Learn how to break free from external validation and transform burnout into true fulfillment. Prepare to be moved and inspired by Catherine's extraordinary big talk.
Ow! I'm Catherine Hormats. I am so glad you're here. It's beautiful to see you. Y'all look really good. I'm curious how many of you knew what you wanted to be when you were 5 years old? Any sense? Good, yeah? I knew exactly what I wanted to be, a model and an actress. You see, my best friend was the model and the actress for Wonder Bread. Now, if you know anything about Wonder Bread, it's the only bread in the world that does not mold if you leave it on the counter for more than 2 weeks. I think that should be their tagline, "We never mold." So Sydney was adorable. Her name was Cindy Stockman. She was redheaded, she had freckles, her hair was always beautifully coiffed in 2 pigtails. And she had an amazing life. Amazing life. Let me tell you, at 5, she got to travel the world. She got to skip school. She made tons of money, too many zeros for a 5-year-old to count. So Cindy, to me, was really the definition of a 5-year-old baller. I wanted to be just like her. So I ran home from school one day and I said to my dad, "Dad, I know exactly what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a model and an actress just like Cindy." And he put his finger so close to my eyeball. I can still see his greasy fingerprint. It was like a windshield wiper. It was so close. And he cleared his throat and he said to me,
No, you will not become an actress or model. You will wind up destitute. And you will have to go naked or wear skimpy clothes in front of these Hollywood big shots just to get some meaningless role.
as a 5-year-old kid, my life was over. Dad's finger was the fly swatter that crushed the wings of my creative soul. Now let's try to understand who my dad is. Dad is an immigrant from Iran. He was born during war and revolution. His father was a farmer, and they lost all their crops in one afternoon to the locust bug. So you can imagine he grew up in immense hardship. It was so adverse that Dad actually slept next to a donkey in a manger for body heat. And he was no baby Jesus. So he came to these great United States with a vision. And Dad really got to achieve his American dream while crushing mine. So as a result, the little girl inside of me, she learned to hide. She learned to take these fun, playful, ebullient parts of herself and throw them way in the shadow parts of the gutter of her psyche. I didn't have words for it when I was 5. Now I do. As an executive coach and a psychoanalyst, I understand what this is like to have an inside self and an outside self. Let me tell you another quick story. Picture this. It's the summer of '94. Flying Point Beach. My heart is flying high as I spot emerging from the tempest-tossed waves my very first crush. It's sticky and it's hot. And he is even hotter. He's tall and dark. He has a chest full of bespoke hair. I knew that Josh Marks and I were destined to be. So what did I do? I ran home and I told my dad. I met the guy of my dreams. And that fall, I was crazy enough to take up the tenor saxophone. Why? So that I could sit next to Josh Marks in jazz band. That's how obsessed I was about him. And so Josh and I tooted our horn next to each other, and one day he asked for my number. And as I was so excited when he finally called the house and the phone was ringing, and I presumed that he was about to ask me out and my dreams were going to come true, Dad intercepted the line and he demanded to know who was on the other end.
Listen, son, she's very busy studying and will be doing so for the next 10 years.
If vision is the engine, desire is the gasoline. I was running on empty as these hopeful, playful, exciting parts of myself had to hide. So I really learned to hide as a kid and to become exactly who Daddy wanted me to be. I worked for 25 years on Wall Street. I became the CEO of a financial technology company. I became all the things that Daddy wanted, but my true self. In that process, I developed an addiction to work, obsession with perfection, workaholism, maniacal driving for success, ruthlessness in business. These were all the things that Daddy wanted me to be. And so I developed this addiction, and it was really hard because my friends were having children and having fun and having whole, fruitful lives. And I was this workaholic CEO. Fast forward. I now have the chance to both help myself and help other people in this process of transformation. I was able to reconnect with that 5-year-old little girl. How many of you have an inner child? A little baller inside of you. Yes, I see your hand. I see your hand. Somewhere deep inside, a part of you that's crying out to be playful, fun, ebullient. And so through a lot of grief and growth, I had to take an existential scalpel and remove from my psyche one message at a time of these little trauma tumors, these transgenerational messages that were passed down through Dad to me of how I should be and who I should be in the world. It's never black and white. I don't think Dad is a bad person. I think Dad was just trying to undo his childhood and his fears through my life. He was relieving his pain through my possibility. If you're a parent or you're connected to parents, you might have a sense for this, the things that get passed down through the generations. So I stand here today to say that I'm really excited about the chance to be playful, to be creative, to be my true, authentic self. Dad may have stopped me from being like Cindy Stockman, but he never stopped me from being Catherine Hormats. Your soul, too, can experience the promise and the possibility for transformation. I know it. I believe it. I believe in you. All those years ago, my dream was to be on a stage just like this one, with people just like you. Here I am. Years ago, I had a client who told me, Catherine, I'm a cocoon of a person, and I have no idea who I really am. This is someone who is on television regularly and has world leaders calling him for advice. So if this is at all your story, you're not alone. I get you. And the possibility for transformation is infinite. So I just want to thank you so much for being here. I salute you. I salute your inner child. And I hope you give a lot of love to my colleagues because there's a great show in store for you today.
If you loved this big talk, I would love to hear from you in the comments what your takeaways were so I can celebrate and support you. And if you desire to take my big stage in New York City, just like these speakers, I invite you to apply to the Big Talk Academy, my 12-week signature speaker certification program. You can find all of the information that you need at thebigtalkacademy.com. And be sure to hit the subscribe and notification bell so that you are alerted to all of our upcoming videos featuring more big talks, conversations, inspiring to help you take the stages that you desire. Your voice matters, and I also appreciate you for being here. Big love. Mwah.